welcome to Tandem Fandom. I'm Mick.
I'm Courtney.
And this is a very special Raw and Smackdown live reaction. So grand and so great. We truly entered a new era.
Yeah.
And they weren't just whistling Dixie, brother.
They weren't just whistling Dixie, and that is like the best thing ever because, you know, Dean's still a champion. Seth is obviously still in the picture. Yep. It could have been same old song and dance because Roman was involved in the #1 contendership picture. But man, they're shaking things up and they're basically saying, "You see this shit? You see this shit? Fuck you."
I have a confession to make. When we were watching Raw, and this skips a bit ahead, but when we were watching Raw, you have Finn Balor, one of my favorite wrestlers all time. He was on the list. Go check out the video. I speak very highly of him. But I'm watching Finn Balor, and it was like a fever dream. He was in the main event on Raw with an opportunity at the WWE Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. And in those moments, I said to myself, we want Finn to win. But because we do, we know he won't. Right. There is no way. You watch this, it was kind of like the stages of death in acceptance, you know, because I went through, what is it? I went through anger,
denial, grief,
bargaining, and then finally acceptance that Roman and Seth are the Randy Orton and John Cena of our generation. They will fight literally 2 billion times, and you're gonna like it. So I accepted the fact that Finn was going to lose. It was going to happen. And then he didn't. He won. And he became the #1 contender. And I didn't wake up from a dream immediately, so it was a real thing that happened.
It was amazing.
Wow.
I was watching the clock, because I always go over like 5-10 minutes.
Yep.
So, you know, Roman was pinning, it was like 11 o'clock on the dot, and I was like, nope. Got to be like 11:05, I was like, nope, they're going to let this keep going.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Finn hit the sling blade, and I was like, it's 11:10. He just hit a big move. This is it.
Then he hit the corner drop kick.
Yep.
Climbs it, and I'm like, okay, one or two things is going to happen. Superman punch or spear.
Roman didn't get up.
He hit the coup de grace. That was it. That was it. And we exploded.
Like, I literally flew off the couch.
It was a moment that, you know, we kind of thought, like, man, I really wish we had been recording our reaction live.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I was in my underpants.
It's very hot in the summer where we are. It has been record-breaking heat.
Yeah,
so.
Charlotte's been going through quite the heat wave lately, so...
Cameras off, clothes off.
Yeah, was in the underpants, so we spared you that, but... The reaction...
Nobody wants to see...
I think I even threw out some suckets, some too sweets were thrown about. It was madness. But...
That being said...
At the beginning of it, we led to it with... and I really liked the way they did it. You had 2 fatal 4-ways to determine... The winner of those 2 fatal 4-ways would face in the main event for the #1 contendership. And they pretty much put every... main event or top level guy that they had in those matches, so that was really cool. I mean, you got to see Owens and Sammy and Jericho and Roman and Finn, Rusev, which I really like the fact that Rusev was in that because it makes it feel like, okay, yeah, the U.S. title is important enough that, yeah, he could go after the world title despite being the U.S. champion. So that was really cool. I also like the fact that Finn pinned Rusev. That's who he pinned. So that's a big nod because I don't think Rusev's been pinned by too many people. So that was something a little something for you, Irish. You know, we also saw something that we talked about in our top 10 things we'd like to see return. Enhancement talent.
Yeah!
2 enhancement talents.
On something other than NXT.
Yeah, it was really cool. Nia Jax, of course, worked with, I believe it was Britt Baker.
Britt Baker. Brave girl. Brave girl.
Good Lord. I do want to say, I really want to see Nia use a different finish than the leg drop. I feel like
Yeah.
It's kind of anticlimactic the way it doesn't feel like a finish. Like, yes, she's big, so it's impressive and looks slightly devastating.
It just makes my spine hurt to watch people do that.
That's why Hogan has so many back problems, because he did the damn leg drop for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing too, like, she lacks a big setup. You know, with Hogan, you get the boot, bounce off the ropes into the leg drop, where she just kind of jumps.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see her gorilla press, maybe, especially with smaller girls like this Baker girl was.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, maybe the only girl she struggles with to maybe kind of toss around, Charlotte, because Charlotte's bigger and more athletic. But like Sasha, she could sling Sasha around like crazy. Summer Rae would be the same
for a
way.
while, she was doing like the by the neck, sling him around.
Yeah, so, but that's kind of nitpicky, but it was still good. It was a good way to introduce her as like, here's a monster, because if we're being honest, I expected that to be a Summer Rae job. And I'm sure eventually she'll get to that point where it is Summer Rae, but right now I figure use a few local talents to help build.
Well, the most important thing about using local talent, enhancement talent, jobbers, whatever you want to call them, is you don't like defame your own locker room. You don't end up with Dolph Ziggler just stagnant under this glass ceiling that he so lovingly talked about.
Well, but that's a real thing, because if you look at Jack Swagger, this is a guy who's won Money in the Bank. He is a former world champion. Does anyone care about Jack Swagger at all? No, not really, because he's king of main event or superstars. Like, here's a guy who's former world champion, but you've made him lose so much. He doesn't matter.
Well, the only person he beat was Stardust week after week on main event or superstars.
Well, and it also helps you get a little bit away from the 50-50 booking style that there's a lot of criticism on. You know, if you have Dolph Ziggler beat Baron Corbin this week, next week Baron Corbin needs to beat Dolph Ziggler to get his win back. But when you're using enhancement talent, you don't have to follow that 50-50.
It's more of an exhibition.
Yeah, and yeah,
a showcase.
The idea is, well, yeah, but you know a jobber's gonna lose. Yes, I suppose. But that's the point. You're showcasing this superstar.
You mean it's predetermined?
What?
What?
No, but you know, so I think that's why it's such a good thing.
I think people need to get over the fact that, no, I'm sorry, but Britt Baker was not going to beat Nia Jax.
And it's okay.
But it was a showcase of Nia Jax. It was a showcase of her character, of her in-ring work, without taking anything away from your other main talent.
It's a good way to introduce her to the main roster audience as well, because maybe they're not necessarily familiar with NXT or her history, so you don't want her crushing Summer Rae or whoever else right out of the gate. You want to build up towards it, you know, and eventually you can have her beat Summer Rae, a few more enhancement talents, have her go against Paige, a former champion. That's when you really can push her towards a belt. We did see, they did the same thing with Braun Strowman, who has cool new music. Braun!
And a cool new haircut.
Yeah, he looked cool. He looked good. I was like, I like this change, how they've kind of distanced him from the Wyatts without...
He looked like one of those like really big, cool metal heads.
He looked like an extra from that show Vikings. Like that's what it was like. He came off the set and was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to have a wrestling match against brand new internet darling James Everett."
Yeah, people ate this guy up.
They loved him, man.
You know, just local jobber. And he actually got some mic time.
That's where it was cool, because, you know, he had a great line that really made people go, oh, this guy's amazing. So I'm happy for him, because, man, he's going to be able to ask for a little bit more money. Hey, I got squashed by Braun Strowman on Raw. I think I'm worth a little bit more, you know. And
he was about a quarter of Braun's size. So it was great. You know, they were like, what do you think about going against a monster like this? And he was like, if you got hands, you got a chance. And
good stuff, sir. Good stuff.
Like, he's like, I might die tonight, but damn it, I'm going to try not to.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that I liked was the lack of authority figures in, like, backstage segments with Stephanie or Mick or any of that. I mean, they were right there at the beginning of the show to just simply announce, like, hey, we're going to have #1 contender matches. And
for the new WWE Universal Championship.
You will be champion of the universe. So you're like He-Man, I guess?
Here we are.
Born to be kings!
We're the champions of the universe.
Yeah! But so they announced that, and then that was it. Didn't see him again, they didn't show up, they didn't talk, they didn't do nothing.
They didn't show the belt, but I guess maybe we'll get that later, or they'll present it at SummerSlam.
More than likely, there's going to be some unveiling over the next few weeks, or they're just going to wait for SummerSlam proper.
I hope it has, like, a galaxy on it or
something.
It
should.
It's got, like, stars and stuff.
So, speaking of fever dream moments, Sasha and Charlotte had a match for the Women's Championship. And again, you go in, you're like, well, clearly they got to build towards SummerSlam. That match, you know, it's what everybody thought was going to happen. So you're like, well, Dana's going to interfere or, you know, like hit Charlotte or something. But then
Sasha pulls an Eddie Guerrero.
She pulls the Eddie, you know, grabs throws her the belt, falls down.
Like, oh, she hit me. And the ref's like, you're out of here.
So Dana gets ejected, and Charlotte hits natural selection. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be it. But she gets her foot on the ropes, and they keep going. Charlotte, by the way, hit an amazing moonsault.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Flips out of the ring to the outside, lands on her feet. You know, that was insane.
Yeah,
like that was really unbelievable. Good. And you know,
really good shots of that. Go check out WWE and Charlotte's Instagram because she's like a falling angel.
Yeah, well, you know, and it's weird because I look at so many of the athletic women that you see in WWE, you know, with like gymnast backgrounds or like fitness backgrounds where they are insanely athletic, but I've never understood why you don't have somebody like a Neville or a Kalisto in the women's division, because why couldn't they do it? But Charlotte, man, she does. She's impressive.
Yeah.
So that was awesome, but you know, they go back and forth, and then Sasha bank statement, and Charlotte tapped out. Sasha wins clean. If this is a dream, never wake me up.
Don't wake me up.
It was amazing.
Oh, what a moment for a Monday night. Like, you just lay awake in bed and like, Sasha's the women's champion.
Ah, so good. It was so good.
You wake up the next morning and you check the dirt sheets and you check Instagram and you check Facebook and you're like, it's real! It actually happened!
It was such a cool moment, man, and, you know, good for her. Apparently the word backstage was Vince wanted to show, like, yeah, this is a big moment. He wanted to make Raw have big moments. Finn winning is that. Sasha winning is that too. You know, they've been saying new era, new era, new era. Here it is. It's a new era.
Here's everything you've ever dreamed of.
Here's everything you've ever loved, pal. The New Day celebrated being the longest reigning tag team champions, which is of course broken up by the club. Which was really, really cool, you know.
Well, they can't beat up John Cena, so they're going to beat up New Day.
I will beat up New Day. So that was really great. For it being a 3-hour show, I think it flew by.
Yeah.
You know, it was...
For the first time, I wasn't like, oh, this match.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, really fast-paced, action-packed. They talked more about the cruiserweights coming in. I don't know when that is. I'm kind of guessing that maybe the final match for the Cruiserweight Classic will be on Raw. That would be my guess.
Probably.
I get that feeling.
Yeah.
But, you know, so it was really cool. We did see Heath Slater trying to get into Raw, and the hottest free agent in the business. Of course, didn't make it in, so he traveled over to Smackdown, which is where...
no, he made it in. He made it in the building.
Oh, that's right.
Mark Henry stopped him from doing anything...
of note.
In the building.
Yeah. So we travel back to SmackDown, where, much like Raw, everyone in the roster is in the ring, and, you know, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon reveal that they will have a 6-pack challenge to determine #1 contender for Dean Ambrose's title at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And they named really pretty much great main event talent guys that you're not surprised that we're in, or maybe you are. You had John Cena, no surprise. Dolph Ziggler, alright, okay, a little surprising, I suppose you could say. You had Bray Wyatt, the phenomenal AJ Styles, baby. I don't know why you see Heath Slater.
Because they have kind of the same accent?
Yeah.
WWE Universe! I am phenomenal!
I will say I thought it was strange that they did not have Alberto Del Rio and decided to go with Baron Corbin over him. I thought that was an odd choice. I mean, I get it. He's the new hotness, new era.
Yeah, he's getting the big pushki.
Yeah, and then the final spot was left open because they were going to have a battle royal where the final slot would be filled by the winner of that battle royal. We were really thinking Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Zack Ryder or Kane were kind of our two, like, probably these guys. Maybe Kalisto, and it was Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Which was like, okay,
right?
So doing a little something with Apollo Crews.
Another, like, super fresh, new era guy.
Yeah, it is really cool. I mean, obviously Randy wasn't in it because with his match at Brock, you knew he's out. Miz was not either, but later he has a match with Randy, which explains why. He wasn't even in the Battle Royal, actually, now that I think about it. So that
he has his belt.
I guess that's the whole thing. They did announce, well, one was announced and one showed up, 2 new SmackDown stars, the return of the gold standard, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. And Heath Slater.
Heath Slater actually made it to the ring in SmackDown, had his microphone ready to drop some pipe bombs, and then he got gored.
Gore! That's right, the Man Beast Rhino returned.
And the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, they were really into Rhino. That was pretty cool. As far as the 6-pack challenge match, I thought it was great. Another great match that they had, and they, I suppose, tried to set a tone with this match, was Natty and Becky had a rematch, of which Becky won. I mean, again...
Round of applause, yay.
You know, happy to see her get a win for once.
Yeah, that
was cool. You know, nobody stabbed her in the back. Hey. That was all right.
Good job, Beck.
Then post match, we got
parade of talent.
Yeah,
that kind of everybody walks out on the microphone and tries to one up the one before them. They get interrupted, or well, the victory celebration for Becky gets interrupted by the one and only Alexa Bliss
with a bliss station. What the hell is a bliss station? I don't know what she was trying. I thought I was guessing. Yeah, but you know, so Alexa comes out, and at that point, I'm like, okay, so they're gonna feud Becky and Alexa. That's smart, you know.
That's a good promo. I love her. She's great on the mic.
But then Naomi comes out,
and it's like, oh, okay, Naomi's back. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe her and Alexa are gonna feud a little bit because she interrupted her. Yeah. You know.
And then Carmella came out. It's like,
okay, so we're just gonna bring the whole women's locker room out, and we're all gonna talk about it and try and one up each other.
And then
everything went to shit.
Eva Marie came out with some new strange, like, did they bring back, like, did Rob Pardo or something do the, you know, she is the most bewitching, entrancing, I'm sounding like George Takei, but, oh my, Eva Marie. No, so, weird voiceover and her music.
It was very, old Universal film trailer.
Hollywood starlet type of thing, which is weird because she's from Northern California.
Like chills, spills, thrills.
Yeah, but, you know, I do want to point out, everyone else that came out had a microphone and they said things, except her. She was booed out of the damn building, which is something. That's, I mean, she's genuinely disliked, but she didn't speak. And when she did her kiss, you know, she was like...
People say...
It's like, are you two? Are you a toddler blowing me a kiss? Mwah. Are you hungry? Is she hungry? I mean, so that was...
But, you know, they say any crowd reaction is a good reaction. But, generally, if you're getting booed out of the building, you want it to be because you're a bad guy. You're Hulk Hogan in the NWO.
Yeah.
You know, you've like betrayed everybody. You're the biggest heel on the roster, and even the crowd is against you. Oh, boo, he cheated. Boo, 1-800 Bullet Club. Oh my god. But WWE, you need to realize she's not being booed for that reason.
People just don't like her.
She is being booed because she's awful. She's awful. She sucks. She can't talk. Obviously, you've accepted that because you're not putting a mic in her hand. In this big, like, microphone battle that we're having, she shows up without one. She can't wrestle. All she has is her looks. She has no personality. She's just... She may as well be the blow-up doll from DDT.
I think the blow-up doll is more skilled in ring than she is. You know, and I hate
or
to
the broom, or the pencil, or...
I hate Kiwi. You know, we beat her up a lot on this show, but I feel...
We wouldn't have to beat her up so much if they would just get rid of her.
The thing is this, like, and yeah, people could be like, well, she's improved. Yeah, she has. But, you know, like, what... You have, like...
Has she?
Well, it's like going from getting shot to being stabbed. It's both bad.
When's the last time we actually saw her, like, wrestle? When's the last time we saw her, like, actually talk?
Sometime in NXT, but it's been a little bit.
I don't know if maybe they've squirreled her away and they're like, no, do it right. If you do it right, we'll let you go. We'll let you out there if you do it right, and then go.
I think the problem is they just don't really know what to do with her because there is such an investment. Because
I got an idea. Nothing.
Well, yes, but from their perspective, she does have a fan following because of Total Divas, and there are people that do like her, but I think it's just one of those things of like, you know, if you do something for so long, eventually you would think you would get better at it. Eventually.
And it's not even an entertainment value standpoint, and it's not even like, oh, I just don't like to watch her wrestle. It's, I don't want to see the other women get hurt because they're forced to be in the ring with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
It certainly seems that way that she doesn't. But, you know, we could probably go on about her.
Maybe she'll come out next week and just blow my socks off.
Shooting star press, you know, but 450 splash.
I'd be like, that's Evan Bourne in a wig.
I would watch that. But the positive note that Smackdown had is, you know, surprisingly, Dolph Ziggler pins AJ Styles to become #1 contender.
Happy dance.
This was kind of mind-blowing. And it's interesting, too, because of the perception that Dolph Ziggler has, at least within some of the fandom community. Like, for example, we were talking to our brother-in-law about it, and he's not a fan of Ziggler. He's just like, they've made Ziggler look like a doofus for the past 2 years.
Yeah, they have.
I think looking at Dolph win shows, we're in a new era.
Yep.
This is a new chance. Everybody can do it. And based on the promos that Dolph's been cutting, breaking the glass ceiling, I think we're there, and it's exciting. I have one criticism. Only one. Dolph wins, he's celebrating, fine and dandy. Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan come down to the ring. I'm okay with that. And they say, Dean Ambrose, come on down. And Dean comes down, he has a little stare moment with Dolph, and that's it. My one problem with that is it was way too similar to Raw. And if you're going to bring Dean down, good guy, bad guy, doesn't matter. You call Dean down so he can see his challenger, he ought to drop his ass in that ring. Kick to the stomach, dirty deeds, Dean Ambrose stands over Dolph Ziggler holding the belt up. Now, Dean's a good guy, you're all saying. Dolph's a good guy. That's fine and dandy. Next week, Dean Ambrose comes out and explains why. Hell, you can even have Dolph Ziggler come out to the ring, cut a promo about, like, it was a moment, I broke through that ceiling, and then Dean Ambrose kicks me in the stomach and drives my head in the mat. Why, Dean? I've been asking myself why all week, but why don't you come tell me why? And at that point, if you don't want to make Dean a bad guy, you don't have to. He can just come down and say, I was just letting you know who the man around here was, or I'm just letting you know it's going to be harder, whatever. The only reason I say that, the way Raw ended, you got the big Sasha moment. You got Finn Balor, NXT champion, new era, beats Roman Reigns clean. We want to see next week, right? Absolutely excited, ecstatic.
Yeah.
Smackdown, although we're excited for Dolph and we want to see what's going to happen next week, if you have Dean drop him, it's a different ending than Raw had, and it's that old school WCW Nitro. They've been talking about the NWO for, you know, an hour and 58 minutes, and in 2 minutes they show up at the end just to make you go, man, I gotta tune in next week. That is all nitpicking, but it was my one problem. Had they not called Dean down, whatever, but because they did, me personally,
Him personally, because I completely disagree. I'm just letting him have his moment.
I need this moment. I would have liked to have seen Dean drop him. Other than that, it was fantastic. Congratulations, Dolph.
I think it was absolutely perfect the way it was. I think having the face-off is just iconic, you know, good picture framing moment. And I think if anything would have happened, especially to Dolph, it would have completely taken the piss out of everything they just built up. It would have glued the glass ceiling back together, and it would have been like, okay, so he's still going to be marketed as an underdog and treated like shit. We have this moment. If it happens next week, it'll be completely different. But I really don't think it should have happened. And it didn't.
It didn't. So clearly...
Tuesday night, because it would have completely and utterly deflated that moment. It would have taken the piss out of Dolph, and nothing would have changed.
And you would have turned some fans against Dean, regardless if he is babyface or not. You would have turned them against him. If they're Dolph Ziggler fans, automatically they're going to go, I don't like this Dean Ambrose fella.
I think people would have eaten it up, but because everybody fucking loves Dean.
Yeah.
And everybody loves an ass kicker. Thank you, Stone Cold.
Crazy guy. But that's just my opinion. Well, that's, I think, pretty much everything that needs to be said.
Yes.
It was a really great way to start off. We have kicked the door down, walked right into the new era. It's very exciting.
Yep, WWE just showing us so much promise for the coming episodes, for the coming months, the coming years, because they are blatantly in our face saying things are changing. Come along with us.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where this journey takes us, especially because there was no crossover, and that's something that was just refreshing to see different people, different stories, and I like to see what they're going to develop in the future because, let's be real, Smackdown has no belts. Raw has like 20 belts. They have the women's, the Universal, the Tag Champions.
Smackdown has the WWE Championship.
They have 2 belts.
You said no belts.
Oh, okay. They have 2 belts compared to Raw's Universal, Women's, Tag Champion, United States Championship, possibly Cruiserweight title. That would be 5 belts to 2. They gotta add something.
Yeah.
They got to.
I would like to see another women's belt.
Especially because you paraded your entire women's division out there to fight over nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why they need a belt. And maybe we'll see that this week. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think SmackDown needs more belts? What sort of belts would you like to see? A TV championship? A hardcore championship? Maybe a new title, like something like the Pure Championship, like Daniel Bryan had when he was Bryan Danielson in Ring of Honor.
Ooh.
Let us know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and share the video.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And like we say here on Tandem Fandom, if you're gonna be a fan,
bring a friend.